There we go. We've got audio. Yeah, the internet's going super slow. Super slow. Messing up you guys' live stream over there. And I'm live streaming too. The Kindle doesn't play DVDs, buddy. DVDs are almost obsolete. All right, hey guys. Thought I'd tune in here. It's raining today, so we're gonna do some live editing. Otherwise, we'd be out working in the garden. Greetings, combat bots. Combat boots. My bad. From YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna do a little live edit here. Hopefully the show in the background isn't too loud. I've got it pulled up in Lightroom here. This is one of my portraits from my recent senior session. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm just gonna probably go through one edit here and show you guys how I do this. I'm not gonna get deep into how I do my brushes, my actions and everything, but I have pre-built actions and presets that I use to speed up my workflow because I've got a few images I want to work on today and I'm trying to finish it up today. So here's straight out of camera. I shot this with my Sony A7 Mark III and my 135mm, my Sigma 135mm 1.8 lens, and I shot it at f5 so that more of her face would be in focus, but you still get this creamy blurred out background and foreground. I was shooting through the branch here. You can see the buds in the foreground and the background really blurred things out. I'm doing awesome. We're doing great. It's rainy here today, so we're editing.
It's gonna be raining.
It's gonna be raining probably all day. All right, so I've got a pre-built preset that I've created for this for these few images, which just basically gives it more of a pinkish kind of creamy look to it right there. And I don't really like what it does to the skin tones. It makes it a little too pink, so we'll fix that probably in Photoshop. But I do want to crop it a little bit. Crops a little bit off. I'm going to crop it to a 5:7. Actually, the crop isn't really that far off. I'm going to move it over just a little bit because it's got to be well balanced. Even though her face is more off to the right, more of her body is off to the left over here. So we want to make sure to keep the balance good. So I'm going to keep it right about there. Go ahead and hit enter. And I've got my own brush that I created over here. Essentially all it is that it darkens it a little bit and also desaturates it. I like painting this over the whole image and then painting it off of her. So it creates a little bit of a silhouette, but it's slightly desaturating the edges. And psychologically it helps bring the focus into the subject. And her face is just a little bit dark, so I'm going to use a radial filter to brighten up her face. I'm just going to reset my brush settings over there. Howdy, Brandy.
Dad,
how's it going over there? I know the internet's going slow.
No, look.
Yep.
Look.
Yeah, no, guys, don't touch it.
It's not loading.
Don't touch it.
It's just freezed. It's not loading.
Did somebody touch it?
No.
We'll see. Hold on, guys.
We've just been looking at it.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. You're just going to have to wait. Oh boy, it is for us. Let me try resetting it. Oh boy, I don't even know how to. There we go. Are you gonna keep everybody entertained over here? Here, come on up there. Keep everybody entertained.
Dad,
Some technical difficulties. We'll be right
Dad,
back
I need to show you
with the
something.
Kindle.
Dad, look.
There you go.
There's
There
no,
you go. Hold on.
on to that one.
No, we don't turn something on. Everybody want to watch.
Yeah,
Keep everybody entertained over there, Lana. Talk to them. Talk to the people.
Watch me.
There we go. All right, let it load. It should come back on. All right, let me have my seat back. Oh, you gotta let go. Yeah. we have satellite internet and it's raining and it causes the internet to go slow. Plus, it's Saturday and there's a pandemic going on, so everybody's probably on the internet watching Tiger King right now. All right, so we're gonna brighten her face a little bit with a radial filter. Just bring the exposure up a little bit. There we go, not too much. So, let me get rid of that dot on her nose or her eye. So, here's our Lightroom before, here's our Lightroom after. Hey Lada, keep the door shut. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring it on over to Photoshop. I should have told you guys what my plan was going to be with this image before we got started, because essentially I'm just going to remove a lot of the hairs on her forehead here. Not really all over her face because there's too many. I want to leave some for drama. It's kind of one of those drama shots. They kind of want some of the hair, but I don't. The ones up here in the forehead are kind of unnecessary. They're kind of distracting me, so I will remove them. So here we are in Photoshop, if it'll work. Actually, I'm probably I'm gonna turn Photoshop off and turn it back on because I have way too many things going on, and it doesn't seem to be running very smoothly. Wow, it's actually like completely froze up. So let me turn it off because I've got I've got a lot of images pulled up here that I've been working on. Let me show you one before I turn this off. It's been a lot of fun. Not that one. I did kind of experimental image. Here we go. Check this thing out. This is something something that's completely different than what I usually do. I was wanting to experiment with light. Do you like that? It's pretty cool, isn't it? There's an experiment for light. I only have two light sources. It's this candle behind me and my phone. And I shot this at like ISO 8000, so there's a lot of noise. Don't mess with the cameras. So if you zoom in, there's a lot of noise. If it'll let me zoom in. I think I just crashed it. It just crashed. You like playing with my cameras? Let's not mess with the cameras or lenses. Don't crash, Photoshop. Actually, I need it to. I'm gonna have to force turn it off and turn it back on. There we go. Okay, see all that noise in there? So the quality's not great, but I like the way it turned out. All right, I'm gonna close down Photoshop and open it back up. Yeah, let's just close everything. I wish there was a don't save on all button. That way I don't have to click all this. These are all the images I've been working on. Oh, ow. What are you doing? If you guys have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to ask. I will do my best to answer all of your questions. You can ask any question whatsoever about cameras, about lenses, photography, how I shoot, whatever. Settings. What are you doing back there? Goodness. I think I slept in a weird position last night. My back and my neck and everything is on fire. And now she's back there pushing on it. Actually, feels kind of good. You're pushing the right spot. Give me a little adjustment over there. Goodness, I have a lot opened up here. I think I'll cancel the last one. So to keep Photoshop open, I think. Let's see what happens. Because I'd rather not have to actually shut it down. I just needed to close all those. Cancel. Yay, it worked. Okay, I'll just bring this image back over to Photoshop. My iMac doesn't actually crash very often at all. It just becomes a little unstable from time to time when I have 1,000 applications running at the same time. And I do. I have so many things opened up right now. All right, so we'll make a duplicate of the background layer. And in this kind of work, you're going to have to not be bumped. So I'm going to have to put her back to watching the show. You have to go watch your show. Because you can't be back there moving me all over the place when I'm trying to edit. All right. Come on. Oh. You are going to have to stay back over here. Hey, guys. Move down over here on the couch so she can see. Richard, you're going to have to come back here so she can back here. There we go.
This isn't so hard.
All right. Brandy, I am using my Sony A7 Mark III right here. Oh, wait. This is my Mark II. This is my Mark III. They're almost identical. Just one has a 3 on it, one has a 2 on it. The bodies are identical. So yeah, it's my Sony A7 Mark III with a super wide angle lens on it right now because that was the lens I shot that experimental photo on here in the studio. I needed something wide, so I used my 15 millimeter, my Laowa 15 millimeter 2.0 lens. All right, so first things first, we're gonna remove all these hairs on her forehead. And with this shot right here, I shot with my Sigma 135 millimeter 1.8 lens, and I shot it at f5 because if I had shot it wide open at f1.8, her right eye would be in focus and everything else would be out of focus. The tip of her nose would be blurred out, her other eye would be blurred out, her teeth would probably be slightly blurred out, her ears are blurred out. This is at f5. I probably could have gotten away with like an f6 or 7. To try to get her more in focus, but I like my creamy foreground and background, so I'm trying to find a proper balance, and F5 seems to work pretty good for me. Alright, so I'm going to use my patch healing brush tool, and I grabbed that by just pressing J, but it's this one right over here, and I use this with combination of this tool and content aware fill. So I'm just going to select the hairs, and you can either grab content aware fill. I pressed Shift Delete to pull that hotkey. That's the hotkey for that. And that usually does a pretty good job at filling it up. It created a few weird artifacts. So you can select and drag to remove things. Or you can use Content Aware Fill. Either one works pretty good. So I'm just going to go around and start selecting those hairs and removing them. And this is just some tedious work, but it works. That's part of it. When it comes to like this hair going over her eye right there, content aware comes in very well because it's kind of tedious trying to rebuild the human eye. Can do it, but it's tricky. And I try to do this without having too many weird repeating patterns. That one was not good. Let's do that. So like, let's see. Move that over. With this right here, I'm going to try content aware. It usually does a pretty good job at replicating what I've removed there. There we go. Good. Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear my rooster over there? It's actually our neighbor's rooster. Our neighbor's rooster has claimed us as their owners. A lot of our neighbors' animals do that. They're different neighbors. So we have 2 different neighbor dogs who have claimed us as their owner, and 2 of the neighbors' chickens who have claimed us as their owner. But then, but one of them disappeared. Either it went back or something got it. I don't know. I think actually one of the other neighbor's dogs got the other neighbor's chicken on our property. So, don't know. I don't know. Can't keep up with it all. Just trying to keep my own animals alive. All right. Oops. So removing hairs. Does anybody have any more questions while we're doing this? I can answer questions while I'm editing. Hey, buddy. What's going on? Also do some retouching while we're in here. All right. I actually want to leave most of this, at least this stuff right here. Maybe this one's a little distracting over her nose. Make sure it doesn't leave any weird artifacts. Or do that. I can zoom in. Oh, my keyboard's acting up. Does anybody else have weird problems with wireless keyboards and mice not connecting well? I have the receiver literally like maybe 12 inches away. It's right there and it still has connection issues. Every wireless keyboard or mouse I've ever had does that. No, guys. Nope, you're going to have to... You can't be in my lap while I'm doing this. The slightest movement is going to mess me up. Is it having issues still?
No.
I can't see. Oh, it's just loading the next episode. All right, let's go in here and start removing the rest of these hairs. You can do little pieces at a time, or you can try to grab a whole long chunk if you can. I'm using a Wacom tablet, by the way. I'm using my pen to do this. This would be a nightmare to try to do this with a mouse. Although it can be done. Like I can just grab the mouse. Okay, Lada, you're gonna have to go back and watch your show. I can't do this when you're pushing on me like that. There you go. Did that with a mouse. So it can be done. It's just a lot easier with my Wacom tablet. But not when somebody's climbing all over you. Okay. You're going to have to go back. You're going to have to go back. Voila. Oh, you need to go watch the show. I can't edit while you're pushing on me like that. Stay over here, okay? Understand? Okay, stay over here. All right. Whoops, whoops, whoop. What's going on here? Oh.
That's brittle.
I accidentally pressed Z for zoom. Hey, Ruben. Don't touch the Kindle, bud.
Okay.
Why don't you scoot your seat back a little bit? Scoot it back. No, like I need you to step back so you can't be messing with the Kindle. If you guys break the Kindle, I don't know what to tell you.
I can see.
You can, buddy. I can see it from here. You can see it fine.
I can reach it.
Good. That was the idea.
I think it's really good.
Hmm.
I think.
What?
I think.
Do you have anything to say? The people are listening. we got 4 people watching us right now. Yeah, removing all these hairs can take forever, but that's just part of it. I want to zoom out and make sure that looks normal. Make sure there's no weird repeating patterns or anything. Sometimes I want to just clean up some of these areas here. All right, and with that, I'm going to do a little bit of frequency separation. There's a little bit of acne down here I want to get rid of. This one here, but that's going to separate that hair. So now we got to remove the rest of it, otherwise it's going to look weird. Could cut it off right there. That looks normal. I got to get rid of these now.
See that hair? I see that hair.
Yep, it's still there. Let's get rid of it. There we go. All right. So I've got my frequency separation set up on F1 hotkey. I have it all set up. I have all my hotkeys set up for all the actions I've created, F1 through F9, with all the tools that I've created that I use in Photoshop. And in my Watch Me Edit videos, I show you how to create those instead of just hitting the hotkey button. And if you guys are interested in seeing that, I have a promotion going on for all my Watch Me Edit videos, all my classes right now over at philiphomiceracademy.com. You can use promo code CoronaBreak, one word, for 50% off of anything there. And you can use that as many times as you want. My hotkey's not working right now. It's probably my keyboard's not working. There it goes. Too far away from the receiver. Where's my coffee? Oh, there it is. Oh. Oh, I should turn this down. I think I have my, hold on. Do I have this thing turned on? Hello? Kind of. Oh, I have it turned off. Okay. I have it the other way. I should turn that off. That might be creating some weird echoes or something. Okay, got my content aware, or my content aware, my frequency separation tool pulled up here. It's just a file with the tools down underneath. This one is a retouch, which blends, is the actual, it's just a brush. You can grab the brush tool and use that. I usually have it set at about 50% opacity. And you can just brush that on anywhere to smooth it out. And it just basically blends the highlights and the shadows together, but it doesn't affect texture at all, which is what is really cool about this. So it leaves all the texture, but it really smooths things out. I'm gonna try to use it around the hairs. I don't want to actually cover too many hairs with it. So it doesn't look like it did anything at first glance, but if you turn it on and off now, you can see what it did there. See, it just kind of blended the highlights and shadows together. It just made things look a little smoother. And then if you wanted to manipulate the texture, you could use this texture one here. You just use like the patch healing brush tool, and you could move things around, but it still retains color, if that makes sense. So if I was to grab it, like if I was to grab something like this and move it to any part of the photo, it would copy that texture over, but it retains the color. Do you see that? So like over here on this green leaf, it stays pink over there in her skin tones where it should stay. So it almost doesn't look like it's done a whole lot. We don't want a leaf on her face though. So we'll remove that. Okay, and her skin tones are a little too pink. So it's probably fine, but I'll play with that here in a little bit. I'm gonna do a little dodge and burning here. Let me see who's still hanging on here. We got one person from YouTube and 3 from Facebook. I'm streaming in multiple places at the same time, which is kind of cool. And I'm amazed that it's still running with our slow internet.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm just going to lighten up the light areas here. I'm going to brighten up her face just a little bit. Maybe down here by her neck. Some right here. No. You got to stay down. Go watch your show. Go watch your show. Go back on the couch. And I'm going to darken under her chin to make the chin line come out a little bit. That's terrible. Let me go back. Oops. Let me go forward. What happened here? Step forward. That's too much. Just something like that. Not a whole lot. There's not a ton of dodging and burning that needs to be done here. We can do... I keep getting this air. We do some of the hair here. Just darken some of that. The dodging and burning just helps details to stand out a lot more. Man, my wireless keyboard and mouse are really having an issue right now. There we go. If we toggle that on and off, you can see what it's doing there. It just makes our subject stand out a little bit more. I actually want to use this on her eyes a little bit, make her eyes pop out a little bit, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. And it's the main focus point here. Your attention will go straight to her eyes in this image. So we want to just pop out just a little bit more. We're just going to enhance those catch lights a little bit. And then also want to darken the iris and the edges. Whoops. Didn't change. Oh, this keyboard. Bear with me for a minute. Now it's like completely froze up. Come on, switch over to black. Come on. Oh boy. I have to do it manually. There it goes. Wow. Okay, now it's working. No, it's not. I can't get any closer to the receiver. I'm about to just get a wired keyboard and mouse. It's pretty messed up. We're in the 21st century and having issues like this. I think the technology would be a little bit better by now. Okay, guys. No. You can't be climbing on my seat when I'm trying to edit here. Richard, off the seat, buddy. Get down. No, go back and watch your show. That's why I turned it on. You can see from over here. Come over here. So we can toggle that on and off, and you can see it just made the eyes pop out a little bit more. You don't want to get too much. You don't want their eyes to start glowing. In fact, let's see. Might have done a little bit too much on this eye. So I'm going to add a layer mask and set the opacity to like 20% and just paint over that eye just to bring it down a little bit. I think I went a little too much right there. There we go. Just a touch. Okay, now I'm going to bring my hairbrush up. So my hairbrush, it's a custom brush that I created using using combination of the oil paint. Where is it? Whoa, are you okay? And a high pass filter. Hold on a second. Oil paint tool right here and a high pass filter. Are you okay? So it kind of smooths out the hair as well as gives it kind of a painterly effect, which is pretty cool. And I'll just add it at 100%. And if I need to remove, oh goodness, if I need to drop the opacity, if it's too much, I just drop the opacity a little bit. So I'm just gonna paint this onto her hair. If my brush will work, my keyboard will work. You need to go watch the show. Go watch the show. You gotta go watch the show over there. You can't. I can't edit while you're climbing all over me. You can stand there and watch from there, but you can't be all over my lap. If you sit right on my lap and don't move, that'll be fine, but don't be climbing around all over the place. Here we go. Is that working? Okay, that's not gonna work. You're gonna have to go sit down. Yes. You stay right here. You just busted my lip. Ow. Stay put. Ugh. This is what happens when you have all the kids in the studio with you. Well, if you would sit still, I wouldn't mind. Are you gonna sit still? Okay. Hold on a minute. Let me finish painting this on here. Ah, you busted my lip. All right. So that's a little bit too much. There you go. Are you gonna sit still? Okay, sit still. So if we toggle that on and off, you can see what it's doing there. So let's just drop the opacity a little bit. Now you want down? Okay. Okay. There you go. Kids can never make up their minds. They don't know what they want. I'm going to drop that down to about 70%. Now I'm going to add my matte and color. Actually, no, I'm not, because it's not going to let me for one thing, because the keyboard's not working right now. But what I am going to do is add a hue and saturation layer, and we're going to play with the skin tones just a little bit here. I'm going to select an area right about here, and I'm going to crank the hues way over so it'll turn her skin like blue or green or something, green, because I want to try to select just the area in her skin tones. So I know this looks funky right now. I know, crazy, right? It's not doing anything. Okay, let's try this. Don't bump the mic, buddy. Here we go. Okay, we're going the opposite direction here. All right, we're starting here. Here we go. Nope, no, it's the other way. It's the wrong way. Wow, you know what? I think there's too much pink on the whole image, and that's why it's doing this. It's not doing... You know what? This is probably not going to work. It's too much of that color. Let me just delete that. Okay, so the issue is that pink color is all over the entire image, so it's... What we could do... Hey, buddy, you're blowing right into the mic. That's probably super loud on there, and let's not do that. What we could do is bring that hue and saturation layer back. Go ahead and select that color again, and we could just play with those colors. Don't blow in the mic, buddy. When you do that, on their end, it's going to be like really loud. You don't want to do that. Blow, if somebody's wearing like earbuds or something, it's going to like blast out the bass on their eardrums. You don't want to do that. They'll check out. Stop watching us. Okay, so that's on the green side. You know what? We'll just drop the opacity a little bit. There we go. Drop the opacity. Oh, sorry. The saturation. Drop the saturation just a little bit. You drop the lightness just a 10, negative 10, negative 10. It might be a little too much. Okay, let's go ahead and invert that layer mask because I'm just going to paint that onto her skin. At 100% Come on. Come on, keyboard. That is so frustrating. I can't. It almost never. It's never acts up this much, unless I'm live. So I wonder if maybe it's I have too many things going on. It's like literally not gonna. My keyboard's not gonna work. It's just like completely stopped working. Gonna have to use. I'm so used to using the hotkeys that I like. Where is my brush? Where's my brush tool? There it is. Now can I change the size? Is it gonna let me? There we go. Oh, so weird. What about opacity? Alright, let's paint that on just to her skin. It's a little too much, but I'm gonna drop the opacity a little bit. Actually, that might be fine. So toggle that on and off. Okay, so it dropped the yellows and the pinks just a little bit. Just drop the opacity. Drop the saturation on that because it's just a little bit too much.
Can you show your lap, Dad?
I'm gonna drop that a little bit. You want to sit on my lap?
Yeah.
No, dude. You're almost as tall as I am. Won't even be able to see the screen. You can drag this over to sit on if you want to do that. I don't know if that's gonna be not that. Don't sit on that. You'll crush it. I'm talking about this. I don't know if that's gonna be tall enough for you though. We need some more seats in here. Is that gonna work? What's the tripod? Does nobody have any questions? Somebody needs to start a conversation over here. We're almost done editing this photo. And I may turn it off if nobody's gonna ask any questions. It's the whole reason I get on here. You guys can learn something. If you guys have questions, gotta ask. All right, we're gonna add my. There we go. This is my matte / color blend action. It essentially just gives it kind of a burnt overlay. Kind of a burnt look on it, which I kind of like. And I'm just gonna paint some of this off at about 50%. Oh, this keyboard. Come on. Come on. It just like decides it's not gonna work. And the keyboard pressed up against. Wow. There we go. All this technology. Wow. And it's not. There we go. It's not gonna let us. Okay, opacity. Hotkeys only work if the keys work. It's not working. There we go. All right, paint that off. I'm gonna paint it from the right side up there down because that's where our light source is coming from. I'm gonna paint it off of her completely. And just bring it off of there. So it adds a little bit more of a vignette. And I like that. I kind of like that burn look, but it's a little too much on this image. So once it gets done thinking, I'll drop the opacity a little bit. So it's kind of froze up right now. There it goes. I'll just drop the opacity a little bit. There we go. There's the before and after what it's doing. I'm going to drop it a little bit more. Maybe drop it to about 60%. And now I'm going to do some extra sharpening, and I use a high pass filter for my sharpening. So if we zoom in and press my F7 button, you'll see what that does. Boom! Look how sharp that became all of a sudden. It's almost a little too much. I don't want to over sharpen it, but I really like how that just makes everything jump out. Look how much sharper that gets. Here's the before, and there's the after. That's really good also for when you're posting it to social media because Facebook tends to highly compress your images. So I optimize my images to exactly what Facebook likes, and then I also do some extra sharpening. So after I do my sharpening, I press F8 to pull up my logo there. And if you guys are interested in all my actions, my Photoshop actions, let me know. I don't have them available right now, but if enough people show interest, I might make them available. There we go. Come on. All right, so you're back. Hi. So here's my Photoshop before and after. So there you go. Not a ton of work needs to be done except for the hair. I'm gonna remove all those hairs. It's kind of crazy. And then once I get to this point, I press F9, and it saves multiple copies of it. It saves one format for social media and then one high resolution image for prints. Don't fight over it, guys. Don't mess with my phone there, buddy. So there we go. It's all done. And then if I go over to my file over here, what it does, it saves it to multiple files. One of my files for social media is on Dropbox, so I can access them from anywhere. And then the other one is on an external hard drive, so it saves multiple copies. So here's mine. Nope, that's the one for social media. Here's the full resolution one right here. So the client will get the full resolution ones and a print release, so they can print these off. But then they'll also get a copy of the ones for social media here. And I'm viewing these on a 5K monitor. I don't know what you guys are looking at them on. In the ones for social media, I have my logo on, and the ones that are full resolution, I do not. And the reason for that is so they won't have a hard time. If they go to the store to print them off, they'll give them a hard time. Sometimes it has a logo on them. But also, these are the ones they paid for, so I just removed my logo. There we go. Any questions before I turn off here? You just knocked a bunch of important paperwork into my trash can. Whoa, don't knock that off.
Yeah.
Any questions, guys? Go here. Not you guys. You guys have questions? Ruben, do you have a question?
Kind of one.
You have a question? Okay, if not, we're going to go ahead and kick off, and I'm going to pull that important paperwork out of the trash. Got too much stuff going on here at one time. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go through and edit the rest of these images. That took me 30, almost 40 minutes to show you guys how to edit that one photo. I go a lot faster when I have to talk through what I'm doing. Did you guys show over? And I've got all these photos to work on yet, and I need to get through them. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And again, if you guys are interested in watching some of my Watch Me Edit videos, go to philiphomiceracademy.com or just go to my website, philiphomicer.com, and there'll be links there to take you to the Philip Homicer Academy website. And you can use promo code CoronaBreak, one word, to get 50% off. And you can use that as many times as you want. And that ad is going to keep going, or the promotion is going to keep going for the life of Corona, or until we're all dead, because who knows what this thing's going to do. All right, we're getting off here. I will catch you guys next time. You guys have anything to say before we go? You say bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.